By threes for the Ags, it's Smith, Fortenberry, Sarton, Klingler, McBride, Elder, Martinez, Moreno, and Walls. Back behind the junior, Kendall Potts. And Potts has already appeared once this season. That came in the final game of the Aggie Classic in the victory over California Baptist. Ags took that one 15-0. Kendall came on in relief in that game. Went 2 innings of scoreless relief, 3 base hits, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. And Ashley, we were talking about this before the game. You know, Kendall Potts coming in. It's been a while since she's really been able to play a meaningful role. She's actually missed the last 2 seasons. You could argue the last 3 seasons with injury. Originally was at Baylor. Her junior season in 2017 got injured. Missed the rest of the season. That was only 5 games into the year, and is just now being able to come back and feels that she's healthy. So really be interested to see how Kendall pitches starting out in this ballgame.
Right. I mean, I think it's important for her to go ahead and get some innings under her, get some confidence going against these midweek teams, get some experience under her belt. I know it could be a little nerve-wracking for her, but getting this confidence going into SEC play again when you get higher-ranked teams.
Potts, the 6'1" right-hander from Arlington, Texas, attended Mansfield Legacy High School. Now, Kendall was no slouch in Waco, went 21-4 in 2 full seasons with the Bears, and was going to be the ace of that team coming into her junior year in 2017. And Potts, all things considered, a very good showing, I guess you could say, in her time with Baylor. Her sophomore year, she went 13-1 with 105 strikeouts and 82 innings pitched. She was 2-0 in Big 12 games, or I should say in 8 Big 12 games in that season. And so an overall record there in her time in Waco of 24-1. So Kendall Potts, not a stranger to the big spotlight, but it has been a little while since she's really been in there. But she'll get the start today against Prairie View A&M. Shelby Williams going to lead things off for the Lady Panthers. Williams, a .286 batting average this season, 4 ball games. Hits from the left side. And Potts winds and fires and deals pitch outside, ball 1. 4:02 time of first pitch. 64 degrees here in College Station. A little bit of a wind as well coming in. About 14 to 15 miles an hour. You can see those flags there in right center are waving mightily as this pitch catches the outside black. 1 ball and 1 strike. So you were here this past weekend, and compared to today, I mean, today is a perfect spring day compared to what it was this past weekend. I mean, it was cold, cold.
Oh, today's beautiful. This weekend, I sat outside Friday evening, and it was just miserable. I can't imagine how those girls were feeling on the field. But I made my way up into the radio booth on Saturday. Yeah,
that's the safe place to be. I think some sleet was in there, some wintry mix at times. But thankfully the Ags able to persevere, and here they are, and it's a really nice day. A brisk day, but a nice day nonetheless, as Williams shows bunt, fouls it back, and count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Forgot I took a picture earlier. I was going to tweet it out. I tagged you. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
The more tweets, the better.
Swing and a miss. Kendall Potts went up the ladder and got her to chase. That's a pretty good way to start your first start in an Aggie uniform.
Nice. I think the key for Kendall this game is to just get ahead in counts. Get those strikes, get those pitches. I think she has enough velocity to kind of catch up on these batters.
Breland Senegal, the left fielder, coming up now for Prairie View A&M. Senegal 6 at-bats so far this season, 2 base hits. And the first offering misses away, 1 ball and no strikes. Defensively for the Aggies, talked a little bit about the lineup earlier. Back behind the plate is Danny Elder. Over at first is Bailey Klingler. At second, Kelly Martinez. On the left side of the infield, Riley Sarton at third base, Ashlyn Walls at shortstop. Get to the outfield here in just a sec. The 1-0 catches the inner half. 1 ball, 1 strike. From left to right for the Aggies, Gabby Moreno, Kelby Fortenberry, and Morgan Smith roaming out there in the outfield. Ags have the gray unis today, gray uniform tops, maroon shoulders, and the maroon pants with the gray piping down the side. Showed bunt, fouled it back. Meanwhile, Prairie View A&M and the dark gray with some purple sleeves. They've got the dark gray vest up top, and Prairie View A&M in bright yellow outlined in purple across the front and bright yellow numbers on the back. Everybody's styling and profiling today.
Yeah, you won't be mistaking these two colors.
That's good. You don't want to end up tagging the wrong person, and then you just look silly. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Potts winds and fires, brings it home in on the hands and got her to foul it back on the net. Count remains 1-2. So we were talking, I do a podcast with Travis Brown over at the Bryan College Station Eagle, and we were talking to Kelby Fortenberry yesterday, asking her if she ever remembered being that cold this past weekend. Obviously really cold. What was the coldest you ever played in? The coldest
Oh my gosh, we were talking about this past weekend because real
quick, a called strike 3 on the outside corner, so back-to-back Ks to start things off. Destiny Williams coming up. Go ahead.
Nice. Yeah, my junior year, actually, during spring break we went to Memphis, and it actually snowed. It was literally snowing when we were playing. That's the coldest I've ever played in.
Did that make it hard to hit? I mean,
oh, very. I was just praying that it would go through and praying my fingers wouldn't break.
Destiny Williams hitting from the right side. The second baseman for Prairie View takes the first offering for a called strike.
Yeah, it makes you almost want to not swing until you have about 2 strikes.
Yeah. No, I remember that game, actually. I mean, I wasn't broadcasting it, but I remember Louis Bellina, I think, went on that road trip with you guys, and when he got back, he was regaling the whole office about how he had to suffer and all this other stuff. You know how it is.
Right.
The 0-1 called strike on the outside corner. Potts pumping in strikes.
Hey, but at least I get to say I played in snow.
There you go. You cross that one off the bucket list. An offering coming in at 61 miles an hour. Alyssa Garcia is waiting on deck. Should Williams get on here in the bottom, or should say the top of the first. Little squibber hit to short. Walls on her horse, comes on with it, fires to first. And Klingler having to go down to one knee, but able to make the catch. Left-handed hitting right fielder for the Ags. Coming in a really good freshman class this year, and I think Coach Evans was awfully excited about some of the players that she had coming in, and Morgan Smith being one. Lake Jackson, Texas takes the first offering for a called strike. Talked about the Aggies really had an offensive output this past weekend. Smith was a big part of that. 6 at-bats, 3 base hits, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBI. Morgan takes a pitch up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. You were talking, this is all kind of new to you. You're getting the layout of the digs and everything. It's pretty neat how they actually have the windows. We're hanging out with open windows right now. This one swung on and drilled deep into center field, going back, still going back, and watching this one go over the center field wall is Williams, and a home run for Morgan Smith. The Ags up 1-0. Did not take long, and hit that to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Morgan Smith.
220 dead straight away, and Morgan Smith, her first dinger of the year, her first home run as a collegiate athlete.
Next up to the plate for your fighting Texas Aggies, the center fielder.
And I was just about to start talking about maybe some small ball, getting runners on base.
Morgan Smith, not your prototypical leadoff hitter. She's not worried about putting it on the ground. She wants to put it over the fence.
Why worry about that?
Got the wind blowing out today a little bit, as we mentioned, 14 to 15 miles an hour. So flags there in right center are blowing around. Now Kelby Fortenberry coming up, and Fortenberry takes the first offering off the outer half of the plate. Left-handed hitter. And Kelby, I noticed kind of in the fall, is also powered up a little bit. She's getting to where she can hit for power, but you got the infield playing in.
Yeah, you talk about almost a triple threat kind of. You got speed, power, and the ability to, run through the box if she needed to.
This pitch a little tight, 2 balls and no strikes. And, yeah, you got the infield playing in, thinking she'll try and use her speed, and she can, but she can also swing it. 2-0, and she does. Swung on. This one is drilled in the left center field. Williams on a run, takes a dive, and it's going to get past her to the wall. Fortenberry rounding second, heading for third. The throw will be way late, and a triple for Kelby Fortenberry going the other way.
Yeah, again, Kelby just using that power. She did get a home run this past weekend along with a handful of doubles. So she can show to use that power from the left side and drive the ball into the gap.
Almost, and I would say she almost got jammed a little bit there, but she's, like I said, just so strong, so able to use those strong hands and push it out to left center field, and Williams unable to track the ball down. Now Riley Sarton coming up, and Riley takes the first pitch outside. You talk about having a mammoth opening weekend. Riley Sarton, 13 at bats, 7 base hits, 7 runs scored, 3 doubles, 3 homers, and 8 RBIs.
Nothing huge.
Nothing big.
A little casual weekend at the ballpark.
And the 1-0 offering misses away. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Riley recently engaged, so pretty excited about that.
Yes, she is. I better be invited to that wedding.
We were already talking about, I think, saw her passing in the hallway, and me and SID extraordinaire Evan Roberts were talking to her. Evan was wanting to make sure he got an invite. Check swing as this one's fouled off. Goes back to the screen, 2-1. Of course, her fiance, a minor league baseball player. And Riley's made the rounds. I mean, she has become a social media sensation because she's always doing these different hitting drills.
Right.
And, people pick up on it on Instagram and everything else and share it.
Yeah, I think one year, one of her drills got shared by a big baseball account or something, and now it just continues to get shared and continues to come out with good content too.
And it pays off, you know. I think she's shown that so far this season. 3 balls and 1 strike. Takes outside, ball 4, low and away. So Sarton works the walk. Still no outs and runners at the corners. And the Ags already with a 1-0 lead. Bailey Klingler coming up.
To the plate for the Aggies.
Talked about the really talented freshman class for the Aggies. Bailey Klingler, no doubt a big part of that. Freshman from Dickinson, Texas. And taking over some big shoes to fill over there at first base with Tori Vidalis gone. But Bailey looked awfully good in the fall. And so far has looked awfully good this spring. A .357 batting clip. Had 4 runs scored over the weekend. A big swing and a miss at the first pitch. But going on the pitch is Riley Sarton. She'll steal a bag with no throw. I don't know if that was a hit and run or just a straight steal all the way, but a stolen bag for Riley Sarton, her first of the year.
Yeah, I think that was a straight steal all the way. You got Bailey swinging to protect that runner.
So the count is now 0-1 to Klingler. Castillo winds and fires, slings it home. Called strike on the outside corner, 0-2. A little moaning and groaning from the hometown fans. Got a pretty good crowd here tonight, or I should say this afternoon. It was a fairly early game at 4 o'clock. Imagine a little bit later in the day you might get a better crowd getting off of work. Swung on, hard hit ground ball, 1 hopper to shortstop. The throw on to first base and a nice scoop made at first base by Hernandez. Fonseca was in the hole, made the throw and a little low, but Hernandez able to pick it up and having to stay at third base was Fortenberry, so 1 down.
Right, that looked like to me Bailey was just a little bit in front of that ball. You get a team like Prairie, you just got to sit in your legs and hold back on those pitches.
So runners remain at second and third now for Peyton McBride with 1 out. And Peyton picked up her first career home run this past weekend. A little excuse-me swing and shoots it foul down the third base side of the Aggie dugout. You talk about being cold. I think Coach Joe Evans might be one of the most cold-natured people you'll find, right? Am I wrong?
No, I think you're absolutely right.
She is always wearing a jacket down there of some sort or a long-sleeve shirt or something, and which is weird because she's from Utah originally, so you would think she was used to it.
You'll never believe me. There will be practices where it will be 85 degrees and she'll be out there in a long-sleeve shirt and pants.
McBride takes the offering outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, and this one comes in and gets Peyton right between the shoulder blades. A hit by pitch. And McBride will trot down to first base. Well, that one stings, but I think it hurts more for Prairie View A&M. Now you got the bases loaded for Danny Elder. We were talking about the big shoes that Klingler had to fill at first base. Well, Danny Elder, one of the players having to fill your shoes.
Right.
Left.
I mean, you do have a lot of freshmen on this roster, a lot of newbies, because you did lose a lot of starters, but they're doing their job, working their way into this lineup. I think just being hungry is one of the things that is going to help them.
And Danny, you know, had a lot of playing time last year, different roles. This offering misses outside. Now 1 ball, no strike to the Aggie catcher. Again, Ags lead at 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. 1 out, bases are loaded. And the infield playing in for Prairie View A&M. Off speed, misses down low. It's 2-0. Ballpark here plays quite a bit deeper than the Aggie softball complex. 200 at the corners, 220 in dead center. But as we mentioned, that wind is blowing out in right center field and already had a home run today. Morgan Smith went yard. And Ags looking to really open it up here. A big swing and foul back to the screen. Mentioned earlier, Lexi Smith, Erica Russell hanging out in the dugout down there. Both of them very serious players back in the day and serious volunteers as well. Say that jokingly. Both of them, a lot of fun to be around, no doubt. I mean, you got to play with them for several years. So.
Yes, and now I get to live with them.
Oh, I didn't know y'all were roomies.
Yes.
Oh, okay. The 2-2 as Elder fouled it back.
We have fun.
Oh, man, I bet. A lot of impromptu dance sessions in there, at least with Lexi. Elder, that slightly open stance from the right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Castillo winds and fires. Tried to paint the outside corner, didn't get the call. Full count. And one of the questions asking Kelby, now that she's taken over that center field role, are you planning on, you know, climbing any walls, running into walls, anything that Erica?
She's trying to fill Erica's shoes, trying to make as many diving plays as possible.
It's a legacy. I mean, you do it more than once. It's a tradition in Aggie land. Swung on, fouled back to the screen. Got her in on the hands, and we'll do it again. Kelly Martinez is waiting on deck.
Danny doing a good job battling in this at-bat.
So Kelly Martinez transferred in late. And I mean late, after the beginning of the year, I believe, or right before the beginning of the year. So, I mean, that's got to be a lot of pressure, too, for a player. The payoff pitch to Elder, swung on. This one is hit in the center field. Williams on and left center makes the catch. Tagging at third and heading home to score is Fortenberry. Sacrifice fly from Danny Elder. It's now 2-0 Aggies.
Great at bat by Danny. I mean, you're going up there bases loaded, less than 2 outs. All you're thinking of doing is getting a sac fly and doing what you need to do for your team, and she did just that.
An RBI for Danny Elder. Now 2-0 Aggies, and Kelly Martinez, the aforementioned Kelly Martinez, coming up to the plate. Kelly had a pretty good opening weekend, her first weekend in an Aggie uniform. Went 4 for 9, 2 runs scored, and 2 ribbies. First pitch misses the zone. It's 1-0. Martinez, a transfer from Utah. And caught quite a bit there for the Lady Utes, as this one is tomahawked foul down the left field line. I mean, she had a number on that, just didn't quite keep it between the lines.
I do remember playing Kelly last year or a year before that in the Mary Nutter Classic in California.
Yeah, Utah
against Utah. She hit very well against us.
Catcher utility player, a junior. This pitch misses up and away, and Prairie View thought maybe Riley Sarton would be taken off from second, but she stayed put. Runners at first and second, 2 down. Aggies leading at 2-0. Martinez last year hit .310 with 3 homers and 22 ribbies for the Utes. This pitch misses away. 3 balls and 1 strike. The 2 Utes. What's a Ute? My cousin Vinny? No. Nope. It's lost. No. Don't Google. Don't Google. You just have to watch it when you can. I think it's on CMT, which is also another old person station. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bring it home. Just did miss down low, ball 4.
My parents would be giving me a hard time about that one.
Hey, I know your parents will probably get it. That's all right, you know. We live and learn every day. That's the important thing. You always got to be learning, and you just need to learn that My Cousin Vinny's a great movie.
Does it count if I know that's a movie and I know about it?
It does. It does. Okay. It does. That earns a few brownie points.
I'll take
For the
it.
Aggies, the left fielder,
Gabby
number
Moreno
16,
coming up
Gabby
now. Moreno really showed out well in the fall. Ruben got a lot of power from the right side. Utility player, sophomore from Montgomery, Texas, right down the road, was a Lady Bear. In the same way of Callie Lanfear back in the day. A little corkscrew shot back to the circle, and Castillo stabs it to the first base side for out number 3. So hanging out. And actually, we didn't even ask what you're up to these days. That's the next question. We know that you're still living with Erica and Lexi. You're still going to school, right?
I graduated actually in December.
You did? Okay, all right. That's my bad.
A degree in nutrition.
You told me that already, and I
Yes.
completely spaced out.
Yes, I changed majors my junior year, so I lost a few hours. Took a little longer to graduate, but
sometimes,
Who cares about
the
that?
best things take the longest. Nothing wrong with a little victory lap. This one swung on, popped up, staying in the infield. Sarton calling everybody off to the third base side of the circle. Makes the catch for out number 1.
yeah, actually I'm staying here in College Station. I'll probably stay around for
Lady
as
Panthers,
long as I'm
first
still
baseman,
playing
number 34,
softball
Larissa
professionally.
Hernandez.
Okay.
I'm training. Yeah, that's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. I'll play the game as long as my body will allow me to.
Yeah,
Right.
I think there's a lot of people that can probably agree with that as well.
Especially being a catcher.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That'll wear on your knees after a while, too. Larissa Hernandez takes the first offering for a called strike. 0-1.
Is that bothering you? No? Because you can slide in front of me if you want. If it's bothering you. Okay.
Gabriela Fonseca waiting on deck, and Hernandez takes the offering just a little snug. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we were talking about it earlier, how important it was for Kendall Potts to come out throwing strikes, and she has. Right now, sitting on 15 pitches. Most of those have been of the K variety. Swung on, fouled back, brings the count to 1-2. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Aggies leading it 2-0 early on here in the top of the second inning. Midweek matchup with Prairie View A&M. Off speed, had her out in front, but just able to get a piece and flip it back foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aggies playing pretty much straight away on defense. Bring it in and just tight. Amanda's kind of scooting out of the way of that one, doing her best moonwalk impersonation. Moonwalk. You know how to do that? No? Not really your thing?
I guess you could say I know how, but that doesn't mean I'm good at it.
That doesn't mean you're good at it or you are going to do it, but you know how to. Hernandez hitting .375 on the season. She fouls this one off to stay alive. 8 at-bats over this past weekend. 3 base hits, scored 3 runs to go along with 4 RBI. Two balls, 2 strikes. Potts winds and fires, slings it home. Just did miss outside. Tried to paint the outside black, didn't get the call, and it's now a full count. So give me a little bit of insight here as far as the catching position goes. Cara Dill, the pitching coach, will be calling the pitches from the dugout, correct?
Yes. We actually went about a different
soft line drive off the glove of Martinez, but able to correct herself and fire on to first for out number 2. So nice job, Kelly, making that play. And then over at first base, Bailey Klingler with a nice stab at it. So 2 down.
Yeah, starting my junior year, we went with a little bit different approach, something that a lot of teams in the SEC especially were starting to do. So the pitcher and the catcher have armbands, and Coach Dill over there, our pitching coach, actually gives both of us a sign, so we don't have to, one, make an error as a catcher, me giving the pitcher the sign, or two, there's another error in me getting the sign from Coach Dill.
But you guys can only do that in SEC play, correct?
No, we do that.
No,
here as
okay,
well.
okay, awesome. I know with baseball, I think they had tried that out last year, I want to say, maybe even the year before. And they could only do it in conference games, but
baseball actually went to using an earpiece.
Oh, that's
Catchers
right.
use
Yeah,
the
yeah.
earpiece.
No, that's right. I do
Yeah.
remember that. So this pitch misses up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. So you guys weren't able to do that at all? I mean, would that have
guess
been
it
more
was
trouble than what
not-
it was worth?
It seems like it. I think the only games that baseball could do that was SEC.
Gabriela Fonseca takes this pitch up and in, brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Fonseca on the year, 400 batting average, played in all 4 games this past weekend, only started in 1. Went 2 for 5 with a double and 2 ribbies. But she has a 2-1 count here against Kendall Potts. And the Aggies leading at 2-0 in the top of the second. Fastball just did miss inside, and now it's a 3-1. And you hear some moans and groans from the hometown crowd. No doubt, much like in baseball we were talking about, but framing, I would think, for a catcher is going to be so important in certain situations, especially when you got a tight strike zone.
Oh, absolutely. And it's something that, too, I think is overlooked by a lot of catchers. I mean, you talk about blocking, throwing down, you want to do the fancy stuff, but, I mean, framing, to me, is the most important part of the game. You want to get as many pitches as you can called for your pitcher. That's what you're there to do.
Well, too tight of a strike zone there is ball 4 to Gabrielle Fonseca, and so a 2-out walk. And Prairie View A&M with their first base runner of the afternoon. Denisha Hinton coming up now, the designated player, hitting from the left side. And a big wave and a miss by Hinton on the first pitch. It goes to 0-1. Hinton gave that all she had, looking to tie this one up with 1 swing. Can hear, I believe this is her first at bat of the season, if I'm not mistaken. This pitch up and in brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Not finding her in the stat sheet here anywhere. So Hinton getting her first go of the year. Be making a look at count. Deja Pennywell waiting on deck. Runner at first, 2 down. Bring it home. Slow grounder, hit to second base. Martinez plays it off the bottom of the glove and bounces away. That's going to be an E4, and that allows the runner to get to first base.
That's something you're looking at, too. That runner going from first to second is running right in front of Kelly, trying to field that ground ball.
Fonseca adding kind of like a shield there in front of Martinez. And we mentioned Kelly, also a catcher by trade, so still probably getting used to that second base position. Mm-hmm. And played that one off the bottom of the gloves. Did that earlier, but was able to kind of corral it and make a good throw to first, but this time unable to do so. So an E4 and runners at first and second for Deja Pennywell. Pennywell played in 1 game this past weekend, only got 1 at bat with no base hits. And the first offering to her, a called strike. Home plate umpire today, James Colsey III. Over at first base is Dustin Douglas. The other infield umpire over at third base is Keith Kearney. Bring it home, the 0-1 off the end of the bat, backhanded by Klingler off the glove, and will roll back behind the pitcher's circle. So all the runners are safe. They're now loaded. Be interesting to see how they rule that one, if they're going to rule it an E or a base hit. And they're going to rule it a base hit. So an infield single for Pennywell. And they are now juiced for the number 9 hitter in the order, Brianna Grays. one of those situations where you got a couple of plays back-to-back, ones that, you know, the players know they should have made. So as a player, is it a good time just to kind of reset yourself a little bit, maybe take a quick deep breath and then get back to it, or would you just rather just hurry up, let's go, let's keep it going?
I think for me always as a catcher, I'd like to call timeout, maybe talk to my pitcher at least a little bit, say, you know, let's just take a deep breath, calm, relax. It kind of gets a little bit of the momentum from the other team to kind of be on pause.
First offering misses inside to Grays, 1-0, and the second one right down the heart of the plate. Evens it at 1-1. And it's not as if Prairie View A&M is hitting it hard off of Kendall Potts. It's just not been able to get it fielded. It all started, by the way, with a 2-out walk. You know, Kendall does not want that to have come back to bite her. The 1-1. Called strike on the inside half. Nice pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Grays, 2 at-bats this season, has 1 base hit, also scored 2 runs over the past weekend. Hits from the right side, sands batting gloves. 1 ball, 2 strikes, swung on and chopped foul right in front of the visitors' dugout on the first base line. I know it, I think for the first few years you were playing over at the Aggie softball complex, you guys didn't have that netting in front. I know last year I think you guys finally did, but you like it? You hate it? Indifferent to it?
I didn't like the no netting in front.
Oh, so you do like the netting.
I do. This netting is a little bit loose, but definitely having something there.
Called strike 3 on the outside corner, painted the black, in a big-time pitch from Kendall Potts to leave him loaded. So Prairie View A&M makes some noise with 2 outs, but nothing doing. No runs on 1 base hit, no errors, 1 error. Currently lead Prairie View A&M 2-0. Ags got it done at the plate in the bottom of the first, a home run for Morgan Smith. And then a sacrifice fly from Danny Elder. And Prairie View A&M did make a little noise in the top of the second, but nothing doing. They left them loaded with 2 outs. A called strike 3 on the outside corner to Brianna Grays, and Kendall Potts able to get out of the jam. Ashlyn Walls leading things off for the Aggies. Takes the first offering off the plate for a ball. Walls, another transfer from University of Texas San Antonio, and takes the offering for a called strike. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. Got a little chilly up here in the booth, so that's the great thing. We're able to, you know, use these windows and put them together. And
God love Aggie softball complex, but this is so much nicer.
A little excuse me swing goes right through it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. We stick the crowd mic out there, and we are ready to go. So 1-2 the count to Walls. Morgan Smith is waiting on deck. The pitch just off the plate. Prairie View A&M wanted that call, didn't get it. Mentioned the Panthers 3-1 under head coach Vernon Bland. Hard to believe these 2 teams actually matched up in the regional last year. Wave and a miss, and Walls goes down. Actually, the ball was dropped back behind the plate by Garcia. Bounces out of her crouch, fires on the first for out number 1. And that's the first strikeout of the day for Castillo. Crystal Castillo picking up her first K. And Morgan Smith coming up. But yeah, kind of we were talking earlier. I mean, obviously you slept since then, but you were like, oh, man, I don't remember taking on Prairie View A&M. But yeah, they have been here, and as Coach mentioned, they're not new to this stadium. Pretty much everybody else the Aggies will play this year will be. First offering to Smith misses high and away, 1-0. Morgan had that home run back in the first to lead things off. Open stance from the left side. Pitch called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
If I remember correctly, I mean, last year Prairie View A&M had a great run to get into postseason, and I believe that was their very first time in postseason.
Yeah. Southwest Athletic Conference, the SWAC. 1-1 offering off speed, just did miss high. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. few members of the SWAC, Sam Houston State. Little excuse me swing, and again, just did miss the plate. And Garcia, the catcher, turning around and asking home plate umpire James Colsey III, were you sure? Yeah, sure. Count goes to 3-1.
That's one thing I always tell my catchers that I give lessons to.
This one swung on and hit up high into right field and is going to dump right in front of the wall. Field with the camera for 12th man. Poor guy.
The wind blowing straight at him.
The 1-0 offering in on the hands. Ground ball through the middle of the infield for a base hit. Well, actually, a little bit of a soft line drive, but Kelby Fortenberry able to fight it through. An RBI single, and it's 3-0 Aggies.
Right. She just does such a great job of getting her hands inside that ball.
For the Aggies,
pushing it up the middle.
Number 10, Riley Sargent.
So Fortenberry is 2 for 2 today as well. The top of the lineup really getting it done for the Aggies so far. Riley Sarton had a walker last time, got all the way around to third base, but was left stranded. Let's see if Riley can't get something going here. Again, had a monster weekend. Shows bunt, pulls it back. Pitch misses high and away. It's 1-0.
Trying to read Coach Evans' signs over there.
She's not still using the same one she did last year, right?
No, I think the indicator's different.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to pick it.
Little late swing, kind of a defensive swing as the runner was going. The throw is off the line. Nice job by Fonseca, the shortstop, to keep it in front of her, but it's a stolen bag for Kelby Fortenberry.
I could have told you that was coming, though, without reading the sign.
Just because you know Kelby?
Yes.
Yeah.
The speed.
Fortenberry, the speedster, was 2 for 2 in stolen bags before that one. Now she's 3 for 3 in theft. So it was a strike to Sarton. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Castillo tries to paint the outside black, doesn't get the call. It's 2-1. Engine a little cool, a little brisk this afternoon, but all things considered, a pretty nice day for softball. You know, the hands fouled it back behind home plate and into some empty seats. Nobody. No one even ready to dive for it.
Courtesy of the Dixie Chicken.
As you heard Mike Fitch say over the PA, you can keep that courtesy of the Dixie Chicken, so some lucky fan can put that in their pocket and take it home with them. Maybe find the players after the game, get it signed. Ground ball hit off the end of the bat to shortstop. Fonseca up with it on to first, and just in time. So Sarton reaching a little bit there, a 6-3 for out number 2.
To the plate for the Aggies, the first
and
baseman,
it's
number 8,
Bailey Klingler coming up, first baseman. She grounded out to short her last time. Texas A&M hitting coach Keith Stein up there on the top step. Got to talk with Keith a little bit over the fall. He actually joined us for some of the maroon and white game broadcast. In on the hands, popped it up. It's a flare. It's going to fall fair down the right field line. Rounding third and cruising into home will be Kelby Fortenberry. And it's an RBI single for Bailey Klingler. And maybe a little more luck than anything, but hey, you'll take it, right?
Those are the ones you have a hate-love relationship both sides of the
For
field.
the Aggies, the designated player, number 5.
Let's sawed her off, but able just to keep it fair. And there's Joy Jackson down there at first base, making sure the umpire knew it was fair. She was given the signal. An RBI single for Bailey Klingler. 4-0 Aggies. Peyton McBride up to the dish now, takes the offering outside. Rapunzel, right? Isn't that her nickname?
Peyton.
At least that's what I was told. Or
Not
Goldie.
for us, but she does have a very long set of hair. She always is the one braiding everybody's hair. She braided my hair every game last year.
Off speed called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't know who told me that. Somebody told me, or Rapunzel, or I don't know, one of those grim fairy tale.
Was it Evan?
Yeah, probably. You know, you never can trust the sports information directors. They lie.
Oh,
This one is swung on and drilled into center field. Williams started one way. Now she goes back and makes the catch right in front of the wall. So just did miss hitting that second home run, did Peyton McBride. However, the Aggies add 2 more runs on 3 base hits. No errors, and they strand a man. We head to the top of the third. Aggies lead at 4-0. Listening to Aggie Software Sport, if you're a really big fan of gifts, I share those out a lot. And if you'd like to follow Ashley, it's at @AWalters_13. Number she rocked her time in the maroon and white. Do you still have that number for your team now?
I do not. Number 27.
That's close enough, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I guess. Sort of.
Mike Trout. I mean,
Yeah, he's a pretty good ball player.
Yeah, decent.
Back to the top of the lineup we go with Shelby Williams takes this one outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Aggie softball in action today. Aggie basketball, Aggie women's basketball will be in action tomorrow. Aggies, as this one was fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aggies welcoming LSU to town. Should be a good one. And then baseball. Hard to believe, but baseball is going to be kicking off the season Friday against Fordham. Should be a really good game there. And showed bunt, pulled it back. Pitch misses down low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yes, I definitely will be over there at Bluebell this weekend.
Yeah, you got a little vested interest over there. Your little brother, little bro, is on the baseball team. Aaron Walters. Be looking to start over there at first base this year for the Ags.
He has made his way into the starting lineup.
2-1, beautiful pitch right on the outside black. 2 balls and 1 strike. So were you guys really competitive growing up? I mean, I know it might be a little different.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah?
Competitive? No.
Never. I mean, you guys are both D1 athletes, and sure that never came up around the household at all. Off speed, a little check swing, just able to foul it off was Williams.
We would be competitive playing Monopoly against each other.
Oh, really? It was that kind of family household,
Anything. No, we grew up on the field. We grew up working out together, hitting, throwing together. So, I mean, we've had our arguments, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good.
I need a little brother.
Good. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breland Senegal waiting on deck. Again, Texas A&M a 4-0 lead. A wave and a miss. And Kendall Potts racks up strikeout number 4 of the afternoon. Out number 1. Yeah, it was funny. Whenever, obviously, you guys were playing at the same time, back at the old Aggie softball complex, I think it was Tim Schnettler was doing a game with me, and he said your mom, I don't know, was listening in, texting or whatever, but she was at the baseball stadium at Bluebell Park, but whenever you were up at bat, she would head out to the concourse and look over and make sure she was watching you. Couldn't do that nowadays. This one bunted but foul up the third base line, 0-1. The stadium, baseball stadium's a little further away now.
Yes, it would. There's actually a good picture of her watching both of our games at the same time.
Oh, really?
It was a perfect little spot.
It's that mom super strength, just able to make that work.
Right. I mean, now you can watch the ESPN app.
Yeah. Or you can listen to the radio, or you can do both.
Of course.
Our simulcast today, SEC Network Plus, I believe. So this pitch misses up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Us, Corey, being the radio people, you can't actually see us. We're not dressed up for the TV. We're not all about the glitz and glam like Tori Vidalis and Chelsea Reber or Matt Simon. 1 ball and 1 strike. Destiny Williams is waiting on deck. Swung on. This one is fouled back. Count goes to 1-2. The Aggies are going to be back home again this weekend. So not only will baseball be in town, the Texas A&M Invitational right here at Davis Diamond. Liberty coming to town first at 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, followed by a matchup against McNeese. Broadcast will be right here on Learfield IMG College. Swing and a miss, went up and in and got her to tomahawk right by it, a strikeout. Breland Segal, her second of the day, and it's now 5 Ks for Kendall Potts.
Utilizing that rise ball.
So what do you think about Kendall's performance so far? I mean, I know we're only 2 2/3, but looking pretty good out there in the circle.
Yeah, I think she's done a very good job. She's looking confident out there, too. I think she's getting ahead in counts, going straight at hitters.
Bring it home once again. Destiny Williams taking this one down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Wind's starting to blow in now a little bit there in the outfield. Might play a little havoc with the outfielders. We'll see if that comes into play at all. Alyssa Garcia is waiting on deck. Swung on, ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Ashlyn Walls tried to backhand it. It was a hot shot that she was unable to come up with. And Destiny Williams picking up a base knock. And that's the second base hit of the day. And really, I would argue the first legit base hit for Prairie View A&M. Even though Deja Pennywell did get on base, but it was a ball that I'm sure Bailey Klingler will say she should have had over at first. Alyssa Garcia coming up, popped up to third base her last time. The catcher for Prairie View A&M. And a called strike at the knees, 0-1. Of course, that Aggie outfield looking very different than it did just last year. Kelby Fortenberry, of course, had plenty of playing time last season, but now manning center field. Got to visit with Kelby on a podcast, actually. Travis Brown over at the Bryan College Station Eagle. And I got to interview her yesterday. This one swung on, fouled back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes.
Kelby actually made a very good diving play this past weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it.
Doing it proud out there. As we mentioned, Erica Russell is looking on, the godmother of the center field there. You got to make sure that you show out for Erica.
The godmother.
The godmother. I'm sure she'll love it if you tell her about that. No balls to 2 strikes, bring it home.
Hey, she loves to give back to this game and make A&M softball better.
She does. Erica Russell, a local product from Bryan. Played her high school ball for Enrique Luna over at Bryan High. 4-year player for the Aggies. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first. Let's see if she's going. She is not. And the offering just did miss off the plate. And so Kendall Potts able to find the zone here these past couple of pitches. Trying to put Alyssa Garcia away. Davis Diamond, 2,000 is the capacity here. As we mentioned, it is an afternoon game in the middle of the week, so crowd a little sparse in some places, but still pretty good showings. This pitch misses inside. Garcia backing up, and some oohs and ahs from the hometown faithful. They thought that might have been a strike, but Potts unable to get the call.
We were just talking about that attendance, looking at the records in this little pamphlet.
Yeah, I think I can officially say I was here for the biggest game. That was against Auburn, the second game of that series. There's a little shallow pop-up, going to be right in front of second base. Coming over as Ashlyn Walls makes the catch for out number 3. And so Prairie View A&M once again runs. All 4 were earned, 2 walks and 1 strikeout, 1 hit batsman, and 51 total pitches. So Castro coming on in relief of Castillo. She'll take on 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the Aggies. Danny Elder, Kelly Martinez, and Gabby Moreno.
Catcher number 22, Danny Elder.
Danny had that sacrifice fly back in the first. One of 4 runs scored by the Ags so far today. They lead it 4-0. The first pitch to the right-handed hitting Elder is a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, I think if the Aggies just continue to win every inning, they'll be in pretty good shape. That's what Coach Evans always preached to us, win every inning.
Inning by inning as this pitch misses up and in, 1-1. So what was it like playing for Coach Evans? What, I guess, I mean, you've known her since you were pretty young when she started first recruiting you, so what really drew you to come play for her?
Just the integrity she had. I mean, the way she dealt with all her players during their time at Texas A&M and also after. I mean, we have great relationships with her now. I think when I was a freshman, it was a little bit more intimidating, freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah.
Like talking to her, just like, oh my God, I'm talking to Coach Evans. Like,
there's a
I don't
called
wanna
strike
say
on the
anything
internet.
wrong.
Yeah, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Elder.
No, but what she's taught us during my 4 years here at A&M has just been incredible. She's been an incredible leader and someone to look up to.
Elder with the open stance on the right side pushes it foul up the first base line, and we'll do it again at 2-2.
and obviously a legend.
Yes, legend with a capital W, I guess. I say a capital L. It's bad. It's bad in softball. No, capital W. Hall of Fame coach Joe Evans. Been at Texas A&M for several years now. 20 plus as this one misses up and out of the zone. Full count. I do have to ask you not to drub up bad feelings or anything. It's this payoff pitch is swung on, fouled back. But you guys obviously made the College World Series a couple of years ago. Last season, unfortunately, came up short, ran into a really good Florida team. But that had to really sting, obviously, being your senior year, unable to get back to where you know you guys could reach, just unable to make it last year.
Absolutely. I mean, you take a look back at that last series, and what's kind of shocking is we had Florida in every single game.
Yeah.
We basically beat them 20 out of 21 innings. And just knowing the fact that going into that very last inning of the series.
Payoff pitch misses, ball 4 to Elder.
You think, oh my gosh, we have it. We're down, or we got 2 outs, we're going to the World Series.
Yeah.
And then that's one
To the
swing
plate
just
for the Aggies,
happens.
second baseman, number 19, Kelly Martinez.
It just takes the breath out of you of what happened.
Well, it was amazing to watch. It was a great series. I know it didn't work out the way you guys obviously would have liked it to, but I think anybody who might not have even watched softball before, if they had watched that either in person or on TV or listened to it on the radio, just saw how competitive both teams were and how much each one of you wanted it. Unfortunately, just coming up on the short end. But, I mean, when you look at everything that you guys did, especially that class with you and Tori Vidalis and so many other good players, I mean, you guys really left a legacy at A&M.
Oh, it was so much fun. Like, the best years of my life playing softball. Playing the game you love with your friends. And friends that you develop during college.
The 1-0 up and in to Kelly Martinez. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Martinez worked a walker first time up. Danny Elder on first base following a walk. Off speed, swung on. This one is popped up into shallow left field. Coming on and able to make the catch is Senegal for out number 1. A little out in front of that one. Martinez offering some words of advice to Gabby Moreno.
Number 16, Gabby Moreno.
I mentioned Gabby showing some real pop in the fall. Got quite a bit of playing time. Obviously, that was the intra-squad scrimmage. The Aggies also played a few community colleges around the area. Moreno hitting number 8 today. Takes the first pitch for a called strike.
Yeah, you can also see a good amount of our hitters are scooting up in that box. Maybe due to the speed of the pitchers.
Were you like that as a batter? I mean, did you, if a pitcher was throwing a little slower, you would end up scooting up, or you know, did you change that position at all?
You know, surprisingly, not very much. I didn't like to move very much in the box, no matter how slow or fast the pitcher was pitching. It just was not very comfortable for me.
Yeah.
If I did, it would have had to have been a significant difference in speed pitching.
Off speed. Now this one misses down low. The change couldn't catch the zone. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, I mean, some hitters are comfortable with that. Others really not so much.
Even at that, I would move maybe half a foot.
Yeah. 2-1. Bring it home once again. This one misses down low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, I mean, you've got some hitters who will choke up with 2 strikes. Other hitters want to just have the full-on power of the swing that they can. So.
Right. And it's whatever you're comfortable with. Do what you're comfortable with and that you're going to get results with.
Danny Elder over at first base. The 3-1 swung on. This one is lined into shallow right. Going to dump down for a base hit. Elder rounding second, heading for third. And Danny will be standing up. And so a single for Gabby Moreno has runners at the corners for the number 9 hitter, Ashlyn Walls.
For the Aggies, the shortstop, number 20, Ashlyn Walls.
Mentioned Walls, a transfer from UTSA this past off season. Ashlyn really did have a lot of playing time for the Roadrunners in her time in San Antonio. Coming on and able to make an immediate impact for the Aggies. And I think that's something that Texas A&M has. This one has bounced in, and a nice job, catcher Garcia, to get down in front, 1-0. Something the Aggies have had this year that maybe they wouldn't have had in the past is these veteran transfers. I mean, you've got new players, but they're players with a lot of experience.
Right. And that just goes to show, I mean, you're just playing the game.
Walls, a big swing and a miss. The runner's going from first. Moreno slid in, but there was still no throw. So Gabby able to moonwalk into that one. Stolen bag for her. Runners at second and third now. 1-1 count to Walls. The leadoff hitter Morgan Smith is waiting on deck. Ashland swung on, line drive, just foul. Or no, did they say it hit the glove? It hit the glove of the first baseman in fair territory. That's a fair ball into the right field corner. 2-run score. Now Walls caught up between second and third. She slides and is safe. Slides in under the tag at third base. Well, you talk about a weird play, but it worked out for the Aggies' favor. 2 more runs score. And they're going to rule that one a double.
Yeah, I wish the people on the other side of this radio could have seen that at the end of that play.
I mean, that was really crazy. So it was a line drive hit to first base off the glove of Hernandez and rolled into the right field foul corner. And 2 runs scored. Then Walls had round second base, a big wide turn. Pennywell's throw, well, it got to second base in time, and then they more or less kind of had Ashland not necessarily in a rundown, but it looked like dead to rights. But she took off her third base and slid in under the throw.
Right, I think she was just kind of hesitant on whether to take third or not.
Well, she ended up doing it, ended up doing it eventually. So it was a 2 RBI double, and then she's able to advance to third base on the throw. And so nice job all the way around. 6-0 Aggies now, and Morgan Smith takes a called strike. It's now 0-2 to her. And Morgan Smith has had quite a day, had a home run to lead things off back in the bottom of the first and a triple her last time up. Came around to score. The 0-2, trying to get her to chase, she wouldn't do it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aggies ranked 22nd in the country heading into today. Off speed, down in the dirt, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the wind is just all over the place. Now it's blowing in, looks like.
I almost can't even tell.
I really can't either.
Flags.
Yeah, as this one is flipped foul out of play.
Looks like it was blowing to the left.
Got the American flag, Texas flag, and Texas A&M flag left to right there in right center field. Got the workout complex, West Campus workout complex, just beyond that.
I was just there this morning.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Fun times there, I bet. This one misses up high. It's a full count.
Getting some cardio in.
Pretty much all the programs here on West Campus are able to use that minus basketball. Swung on. This one is lifted into left field, and Williams has to turn around. Excuse me, that Senegal makes the catch. Tagging up at third and heading for home is Ashland Walls. A sacrifice fly for Morgan Smith, and it's now 7-0 Ags. So that's another example of just getting done what you need to get done, right?
The center fielder, number 7.
Take that opportunity with a runner in scoring position.
So they're now cleared, but the run does score. Kelby Fortenberry coming up, 2 outs, with Riley Sarton on deck. So it's right here in the meat of the order. And Castro wants to hurry up and get this out if she can. First offering misses high and wide. It's 1-0. 55 miles an hour on the gun. Lines and fires. This one misses up high. It's now 2-0. Mentioned earlier that Aggie women's hoops will be in action tomorrow night. Coach Gary Blair and company taking on LSU. 6:30 is tip-off. Swung on. This is going to drop down for a base hit in left center field. And Kelby stopped. Now she's heading for second base. There's the throw, and they're going to say she's safe. The tag was not there. The throw came in from left field. I believe that was Senegal, the left fielder. came up throwing with it. And Williams, the second baseman, tried to apply the tag, and unfortunately for them, for Prairie View A&M, unable to get it down.
Yeah, that was a close play with the hesitation from Kelby.
So Fortenberry now in scoring position for Riley Sarton. But a stroke of luck there for the Aggies. Now you got your best hitter, your most experienced hitter up there. Takes the first pitch up high for a ball. And arguably your fastest base runner at second base. 1-0 the count. Bring it home. Ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Let's see if they try it. They're holding Fortenberry up. And the throw coming in from Senegal was strong and cut off. So Kelby will stop at third base. A single for Riley Sarton, and runners at the corners for Bailey Klingler.
Texas Aggie first baseman number 8, Bailey Klingler.
Big chance here for Klingler. Had the RBI single back in the second inning. But she can really open it up here. Again, the Ags have already scored 3 runs here in the bottom of the third. They lead at 7-0. Looking to add more. Nice ball misses up. 1 ball and no strikes. And boy, the outfield is playing awfully deep. Shelby Williams there in center field. About 6 feet in front of the track. Down and in. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, you got a lot of power potential in Klingler.
That's something, too, that Coach Joe Evans, I have no doubt, was looking for. And some big hitters leaving this past year, looking to find someone there in the middle of the order that can really, really drive the ball. Bailey Klingler, I think, fit that description. She fouls this one off. It's 2-1.
And even looking on later in the season, I think she's going to be huge following up right after Riley, trying to protect her.
Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Peyton McBride waiting on deck just off the end of the bat. We'll even the count at 2-2. If McBride comes up, then the Aggies will have officially batted around this inning. And it looks like Abby Smith, I believe, yeah, Abby has gotten in on the on-deck circle, so she'll be looking to hit in place of Peyton McBride if she comes up. Fastball misses away. It's now a full count, and Castro has really labored this inning since coming on in relief. It all started with a walk to Danny Elder, and since then she's gotten 2 outs, but still has not put the Aggies away. The payoff pitch misses high, ball 4, and so Klingler will take her spot down at first base. Sarton moves to second, and they're loaded for Abby Smith. First time we've gotten to see Abby today coming on as a pinch hitter here. Playing a lot of different positions, one of them being catcher. And it looks like Prairie View A&M head coach Vernon Bland's going to have a talk with his entire infield as he heads out to the circle. I'll find some stats here on Abby really quick. As I mentioned, gotten a little bit of playing time defensively back behind the plate. So far this season has gotten 5 at-bats, has appeared in 3 games. 5 at-bats, 3 base hits, 2 runs, a home run, and 2 ribbies. So Abby Smith has been hitting it
number 24, Abby Smith.
pretty well so far this season. Right-handed hitter, be looking to drive one for extra bases and clear the bases. That would be nice.
Yeah, you're looking at the run roll being 8 in effect.
Again, Abby Smith coming on as a pinch hitter for Peyton McBride, and Peyton had been on base once, was hit by a pitch back in the first, and flew out to center in the second. And Smith takes the first offering for a ball. It's 1-0. And this pitch just did miss off the outer black. 2 balls and no strikes. So as a hitter, when you're coming up in this situation, Castro's having a hard time throwing strikes. Do you wait for her to throw you a strike? Or do you go up there and you're looking and you're saying, look, if it's there, I'm swinging?
It depends.
Okay.
Most of the time I would be thinking, okay, it has to be absolutely perfect. It has to be your pitch. And if it is, I'm hacking at it as hard as I can, not getting cheated.
I think that's what Abby just thought right there on that swing. I mean, she took a big cut. Came up empty. It's 2-1.
Right. Anything other than that, don't even bite.
So 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Smith. Bases are loaded. Off speed, down in the dirt. It's 3-1. And so now you have to throw a strike.
Right, because you're looking at 2. If you get a walk, that's an RBI.
And that's ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Castro, don't know what you're throwing here, but it's got to be around the plate, that's for sure. The 3-1, in on the hand, swung on and fouled back over into the, watch out, back into the press box. And you know the press aren't going to make the catch. I wonder if that's the first ball that's gotten back there so far. I don't remember if any did this past weekend, but I think that we're going to have to save that ball. You know, you can't keep them courtesy of the Dixie Chicken.
Whoop.
Holler out to the chicken. The payoff pitch. Misses low, ball 4. That will bring the run home. And the Aggies now up 8-0. And they remain juiced, by the way, for Danny Elder. So it's 8-0 Texas A&M.
Number 22, Danny Elder.
And you had some action going on down in the Prairie View bullpen. It's like you still got somebody warming up, but not throwing from the mound or from the circle just yet.
Yeah, she looks like she's got a ways to go.
Danny Elder started this whole thing with a walk way back when. She takes the first pitch for a ball. So the bases remain loaded. Aggies still making noise here with 2 outs. And the 1-0 offering misses the plate. It's now 2-0. Well, they better get somebody warming up in a hurry because it's been tough going here for Castro. And they're not missing by much either. That's the problem.
Right. As Castro, you're just looking to get in the strike zone. Pitch to contact right now.
Changeup just did miss down and away. Castro laughing a little bit. I don't know what else you can do about that. I mean, it's just been hard time going, trying to find the zone. 3 walks so far in just 2/3 of an inning.
As a catcher, too, this is a time I would take to go call timeout and talk to my pitcher. Just relax, take a breath, maybe tell her a joke or 2.
So you had jokes just already at the ready? I mean, like you've been looking at the Laffy Taffy and just open up the package and read the jokes? Is that what it was?
Talk about anything, you know. If it's a tight situation, you got to know the personality of your pitcher, too.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you want to go eat after the game? Something stupid.
Catches the zone. It's on a full count. Kelly Martinez is waiting on deck. Swung on. This one is drilled into center field. Williams right in front of the track makes the catch. Kayla Garcia has come on as a defensive replacement for Kelly Martinez.
Number 12, Maddie Yatzlaw.
And Maddie Yatzlaw has come on in center field.
And in right field for Texas A&M, number 4, Patty George.
I saw a tweet by Clark Maxfield. He asked the question of, do I help with the young catchers on this year's team?
Yeah.
I guess I could go ahead and answer that and say, not necessarily, yes and no.
Yes and
Clark,
no.
So I have been coming to some of the practices catching. I do know the catchers pretty personally, so being able to give Coach Dill some tips in that sense for framing, blocking, etc., talking to some of them when I come to the practices a little bit. So, yeah, I do love to still give back to the team and the game.
It's all about giving back. It's all about the kids. You'll learn this as a graduate. It's all about the kids. Leading things off, here's Larissa Hernandez in the top of the 4th, and Hernandez takes the offering outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Kendall Potts still out there, but plenty of defensive substitutions. We named a couple of them, but there's even more. For the Aggies, now in left field, in place of Gabby Moreno coming on is Tadria Sinney. In center field, as we talked about earlier, Maddie Yatzlau. Kylie George is in right. And mentioned at second base, Kayla Garcia has come on as a defensive replacement. Everybody else has stayed put. So Coach Evans now with the score 8-0, looking to get some of the younger players some playing time. The 2-0 bring it home. Hernandez flips it foul back to the screen. Gabrielle Fonseca and Denisha Hinton. That's 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order for Prairie View A&M. Potts, you were talking about the sleeves that you have for catchers. Pitchers have them as well, checking the signs on that left wrist. Finally got the one that she wants. Slings it home, misses outside. It's now 3-1. So obviously Carradale is the pitching coach, but, I mean, you have to be pretty close with her as a catcher as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Coach Still came into our program my junior year, and she did an incredible job.
Sling it home in the 3-1, a little snug. Clarissa Hernandez works a walk.
Not just with the pitchers, but I mean, she really utilized her time to get to know us as catchers, make sure we were getting everything we needed with drills, any work that we needed from her, any help with.
She herself was not a pitcher in college, by the way. It was a shortstop at Kentucky,
right.
Which a little different, I guess.
Yeah, very, very interesting switch. But
yeah,
she's
now as
very
a pitching coach.
She's very good at what she does.
Well, Coach Vernon Bland for Prairie View looking to make a substitution here. Jayla Richard has come on as a pinch runner, so Larissa Hernandez will head to the bench. And a pinch runner at first base. Again, no outs here in the top of the fourth. Gabrielle Fonseca walked her last time. Shows bunt. Sarton comes crashing in at third base. Pulled it back and missed down and in. It's 1-0.
I don't really see Prairie View A&M stealing right here. You're looking at down 8 runs. Oh.
And they're going to call the base runner out at first base. I'm not for sure. I didn't catch that.
Looks like she left early.
Okay, so left a little early before the pitch crossed the plate. So, or I guess before the pitcher got rid of the ball. And so kind of an interesting out, unceremoniously out is Jayla Richard.
Right, she wasn't even stealing.
Yeah, she came in for, what, 1 pitch, and that was it. And so now she's out. There's 1 down. This offering misses inside. Now 2 balls and no strikes to Gabrielle Fonseca, now with nobody at first base. So I guess you were right. They aren't going to be stealing. They don't even have a base runner over there anymore.
Ghost runner.
Potts, the 2-0. Swung on, slow roller hit to short. Walls up with it, on to first. A 6-3 for out number 2. And so, yeah, if you're the Panthers, I mean, you're already down 8-0. You're trying everything you can to get some momentum to go your way, and then suddenly something like that happens. It's hard to bounce back from that.
Right, exactly. That's going back to saying why I didn't think she was going to steal, because you're looking at, you need as many base runners as you can have out there. Why take that chance?
Right. Denisha Hinton up now. She reached on an E4 her last time. And the first offering a called strike. Remember, Prairie View loaded the bases back in the second when it was only a 2-0 deficit, and the Panthers were really making some noise, but Brianna Grays, the number 9 hitter, struck out looking. And that ended the threat, but since then have been awfully quiet. The 0-1 drop ball misses down inside. Nice.
That looked like a bit of a change-up for me.
A nice change of pace, yeah. Deja Pennywell waiting on deck. Bring it home. This one up and in. So as a catcher, who was the hardest to catch? I mean, like, who had that pitch that you didn't know where it was going to go? You had a hard time catching it. Was there anybody like that?
I got to say Trinity.
Yeah. She threw the hardest. Only
because of her drop ball.
Yeah.
Her drop ball was just, it fell off the table. It was a very hard drop. Not to say I got very used to it, which became like second nature for me to catch. It's not like I had to go down and block the ball that often. She didn't typically throw it in the dirt that hard all the time, but it's definitely hard as a catcher to get down under those pitches and be able to frame them. a hard drop is probably one of the hardest pitches to frame, in my opinion.
The 3-1 inside ball 4, so a 2-out walk. Nesha Hinton able to work things here with 2 away, and that will bring up Deja Pennywell. Again, Texas A&M an 8-0 lead over Prairie View here in the top of the 4th.
That, and also being said, you're thinking about when runners are on base, a hard drop ball pitcher trying to throw a runner out at second base is going to be one of the more difficult things to do as a catcher.
Wave and a miss. Up and inside, got Pennywell to chase, 0-1. She had a single her last time. Yeah, I mean, whenever you're thinking about keeping runners close, or if they happen to be going, that plays a big role into it, and they're trying to guess too. They're wanting to go on the best pitch they can. The 0-1, bring it home, hit off the end of the bat and back to the screen. We'll do it again at 0-2. Clouds have stuck around, still pretty overcast, but as I mentioned, no threat of rain or anything. A little chilly. Not too bad. Got a spectator out past the left center field wall, a dog. Everybody's welcome around the ballpark. Off speed and a cue shot up the first baseline. Boy, had her fooled. To flip underneath from Klingler to Martinez covering, and that will be 3-4 for the out. So Prairie View A&M once again gets a base runner on with 2 outs, but leaves her stranded. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Aggies Walls due up. And Garcia came on for Kelly Martinez as a defensive replacement. And it'll be Gabby Moreno and Ashlyn Walls, 7, 8, and 9 in the order.
I definitely remember hitting off of this pitcher last year.
Higgins. Yeah, Higgins has pitched in 1 game already this season as well. Went the distance in that one. This 6 2/3, gave up a hit, 1 run. It was unearned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. So has a no record with a perfect ERA. And she starts out, Kayla Garcia, with a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Garcia hitting from the left side. Kayla takes this pitch away. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And that one does catch the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Martinez had 2 at-bats today. Well, I guess not an official at-bat her first time. 2 plate appearances. Walked and then flied out to left her last time as this pitch catches the plate. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. High and away. Now a full count. And Vanessa Castro lasted only 1 inning and really labored against the Aggies, giving up 4 runs there in the bottom of the 3rd. And this offering misses the plate. The payoff pitch unable to get the black, and ball 4. So Kayla Garcia comes on and works a walk. Now Castro went 1, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs. All 4 were earned, 3 walks and no strikeouts. Threw 49 pitches in that inning. And coming up now, as we had plenty of defensive replacements there in the top of the 4th, Tiandra Sinney coming up for the Aggies. Sinney, a slapper from the left side, takes the first offering for a called strike. Good to see in these kind of ball games that Coach Joe Evans able to really get a lot of playing time, especially for these younger players, as Sinney takes the offering down low.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of hitting changes in the bottom of this inning.
Tadria from Nevada, Texas. Attended Berkner's. There's a chopper hit to first base on the second to get the force. And there will be no throw to first base, but a nice 4-6 to get the lead runner for the Aggies. It's 1 down. So Cindy grounds into the fielder's choice, but she's safe at first base. One down. And I believe we're also going to have a pinch hitter here as well. Ashlyn Walls was due up, had an RBI double her last time.
Your attention please to the plate and pinch hitting for the Aggies, number 3, Megan Smith.
So Megan Smith, the other Smith sister. Coming up to the plate. Look up some of the stats here for Megan. If we can. Computers doesn't seem to be wanting to work with me today. And Megan takes the first offering, or I should say the second down low. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Unlike Morgan, Megan hits from the left or from the right side. Morgan's a lefty. Megan Smith, this is her 3rd at bat. Has 1 run scored to her credit. Appeared in 2 games this past weekend. Has now worked a 3-0 count.
I always remember in 3-0 counts, always got to take a look at Coach Evans and see if she gives you the nod or the head shake, if you're swinging or not.
You got the green light, 3 balls and 1 strike. So did you get the nod or the head shake more often?
You know, a lot of times I would get maybe half and half, but
yeah,
I will say I grounded out one time on a 3-0 count, and I never wanted to swing in the 3-0 count
I bet.
ever again.
I'm sure you heard about that. As there's a wave and a miss from Smith, it's a full count now. So you're the cleanup hitter. You hit cleanup a lot of times.
Yeah, around 4 or 5.
Coach, let me swing away. Hit
I just
dangers.
want to hit.
The payoff pitch is low and away. The ball gets away from Garcia, the catcher, but not far enough. However, Cindy will scoot down to second base. And runners at first and second now. And Kylie George came on for Morgan Smith defensively at the beginning of the inning, at the top of the inning. So Kylie will hit. Hitting from the left side. George, a .400 batting average already on the young season. 5 at-bats, 2 base hits. Came around to score 5 runs. Kylie takes this one away. 1 ball and no strikes. Sophomore from Crosby, Texas. And the 1-0 catches the outer black. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, Kylie did pinch run for me a lot last year, and I remember on that video board her coming around and scoring from second base against Baylor last year in a regional. It was a very big moment.
A lot of speed. As she puts this one on the ground to second base, will not be able to outrun it to first. However, it does move both runners over, so works as a sacrifice. The 4-3. And runners at second and third, 2 away for Kelby Fortenberry.
Number 12, Maddie Yatzlaw.
Excuse me, Maddie Yatzlaw came on. But boy, there's a lot of defensive substitutions. Trying to keep up with all these. So Maddie coming up. And Yatzlaw played in 5 games this year. Only 1 at bat, official at bat. But worked a walk as well. Came on in some pinch running situations. Scored 2 runs this past weekend. Pitch misses away to the lefty. And swung on, ground ball just foul down the third base line. And Smith was having to dive out of the way of it as well.
Tadria.
Oh, Tadria, you're right, excuse me. Tadria Cini over at third base. I saw the S and I was like, oh, that's one of the Smith sisters. No, there's one at second base. Infield playing in. So Smith at second, Cini at third. This pitch misses down low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. 2-1, excuse me. Again, Aggies lead at 8-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Texas A&M looking to go to 5-1 on the young season. The 2-1 swung on, ground ball. Nice pick over at second base on to first in time. And boy, a really nice play as that one was a hot shot.
Hitting off the top of the fifth for Prairie UA&M, number 7, Megan Jimenez.
Centering Kylie George and right. Sling it home to Potts on the inner half. Called strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice little crowd has filed in here. These bucket seats, a little bit different than the bleachers over at the old Aggie softball complex.
No kidding.
Those could get cold. The 2-2 off speed, had her out in front. She pops it up, but foul. I'll pull it back off to the left.
Can also be a little deceiving as to how many fans are here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just because it's so big.
Balls all season long may be kept courtesy of the Dixie Chicken.
Did they ever, I don't know if I ever heard just what the capacity was at the Aggie softball complex. I guess because you could just kind of squeeze folks in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not 2,000.
No. The 2-2, up and in. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And you could also, if you really wanted to, you could hang out over at Ellis Field, the soccer pitch, and watch from the top of their stands. Because the back of their stands overlooked the Aggie softball complex. The payoff pitch, down low, ball 4. And so Jimenez comes on, able to work a walk. And, you know, if you're Kendall Potts, you hate to see that just because you've got an 8-0 cushion. You just want to hurry up and get these outs.
Right, worst case scenario, I mean, pitch to contact, force them to get on base.
And we actually have another pinch hitter here, Natalie McClennan, coming on in place of Shelby Williams. And she shows bunt, pulls it back. The infield came crashing in. It's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Coach Vernon Bland getting some players in here late. McClennan a chance to swing the bat. Shows bunt this time and fouls it off. Actually ran into it. And so that's going to go down as a foul ball. Interesting. I guess she hit it foul and then hit it with her leg.
Right, I think Coach still knows what's going on, obviously. Throwing everything up and in on the hands, knowing she's going for the bunt.
Clinton from Katy, Texas, showed bunt, pulled it up. This one up and in. And McClennan will take a little jog around the left-handed batter's box and might kind of work her way up the third base line once again. A little too close for comfort coming up high and tight like that.
Kendall tried to get her to pop up that bunt.
Sarton scooting in at third base again, showing bunt up the first baseline. Klingler with a nice play on the first. Garcia covering to get the out. However, the sacrifice works. So Jimenez will scoot down to second base, 1 down. Nice defensive job all the way around for the Aggies that time. That was just a good bunt.
Attention please, entering the game and pinch hitting for Prairie View, number 18, Bianca Cruz.
Bianca Cruz coming in place of Breland Senegal. Cruz still looking for her first base hit of the year. 2 at-bats and is 0 for so far. Wide open stance from the left side, and the first offering pumped in for a called strike.
I like to see Kendall getting ahead there.
She's done that a lot today. And you know, somebody coming back from an injury, that's something that she wants to do and be able to accomplish. She's done a pretty good job of it so far. 81 pitches on the day. Slow roller hit to the third base side of the circle. Play for Walls at short on the first, not in time. And Cruz able to beat that ground ball out, an infield single. And moving to third base is Jimenez, so runners at the corners now. And again, Potts with that injury too, might a little bit of a liability on fielding. That Kendall unable to get to the ball as quickly. Had a chance at backhanding it, decided to let the infield work, and Walls a good strong throw, just not in time to get the speedy Cruz. Well, Destiny Williams coming up, had a single her last time, a hard hit single. And the first offering to Williams is a called strike.
Now you think back to giving up that leadoff walk. Now you got runners on the corners.
Yeah, and the last time, actually, done a leadoff walk in a couple of innings already today. As Potts finds the zone there, it's now 0-2. Last inning, Kendall gave up a leadoff walk, but was able to work around that.
Yeah, you look at being up 8-0 right now, not a huge deal, but as the season goes along further, you definitely want to limit those as much as possible.
And you want to shore it up, as this one is chopped fouled on the third base line, out of play. And if you've got to point out one thing so far about this outing for Potts, it very well may be the walk. She's distributed 4 base on balls today. Other than that, has looked very, very good. Take a look at that sleeve on the left arm. Peers in the home plate, winds and fires. The 0-2 just did miss low. Boy, not by much did that one miss. Really wanted that call. She's got 5 strikeouts, has not recorded one since the 3rd inning, though. Now would be a great time. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Pulled the string. Changeup had her way out in front. Destiny Williams goes down on strikes. Yeah, that I think that pitch was in a different time zone than Williams' swing.
To the plate for Prairie, the catcher, number 1.
Maybe she just wanted to make it a little interesting for us.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
The
yeah, you know, if you're going to try and play every situation, maybe that's what it was. So now there's 2. Alyssa Garcia, the catcher, up. She's swinging the first pitch. Kylie George back and camps underneath, makes the catch in right field, and that will do it. Texas A&M defeats Prairie View A&M 8-0. The Aggies improved to 5-1 on the year. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start with the